Thank you, Rafael, for there were so many insights and interesting aspects. I think that this plural in artificial intelligences, as you mentioned, shows this need for different perspectives, not only in terms of the different traditions in philosophy that they approach, or the analytical or the continental, but also how different ways of being might approach one topic. Maybe it's going to be an animal intelligence, or there might be an architectural intelligence, or I think that AI needs to be pluralized in a few words. But exactly. I know that there might be some questions from the audience there, because there are so many things that have been raised by Professor Capurro. If there are some things that you would like to ask or clarify, you can just open your microphone, or if you can actually raise your hand, if whatever you like.
You see no persons on the right side. Maybe you have to put.
Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you, Rafael. I'm speaking from Brazil, and I wonder if you could say a few things more about the Internet of Things when you question the nature of things. I think it depends on the context we are considering the matter of what are things. And in the context, particularly with economical interests at the 21st century, how do you characterize the Internet of Things, focusing on the topic of things? Thank you.
It is a difficult question, because the concept of things, as I said before, has changed from the very beginning with the concept of ensia, or beings, also in Greek philosophy. I make a difference, particularly with the concept of things of which Kant is dealing with. For Kant, we construct things with our categories. So the subject projects in some way with his or her categories into the outside world, and construct things, coming the impressions of the things into the mind. So the things are a product of this conjunction between our categories, the categorical perspective, and the impressions of the outside world. And for Kant, this is very important, because this allows him to make a difference between things that we can talk about, but we cannot realize them as being part of our reason. They call it the things in themselves. So the things that are beyond what we can think about them, but without being the co-constructors of the things, which are the view of things from the perspective of the divine. So God sees things in themselves, and we can see only things from our perspective. This is the difference. This is very important for him, for all the critics, to make this difference. And in my perspective, is now what is changing now is that this construction of things, that's Kantian construction of things, is criticized, and fundamentally criticized, by the new view of things, in which things are interrelated in a network. So they belong to a network in which we are part of. And it's not separated from the outside world and the inside world of subjectivity. This is a Kantian view. And this Kantian view crashes at the moment, in which we all belong to a common world, which is technically constructed in the networks. So things are not anymore Kantian things, but are related things into the network, the digital network, of which we are part of. And so the way we construct reality, the Kantian way we construct reality, has crashed in the 20th century with the computer technology. And so what is a thing? It's different from the Kantian perspective and the digital perspective or the present perspective. So things are not anymore the things we used to speak about, but it is very basic because all the Kantian philosophy is based upon this difference between things in themselves and things as they appear to us in the critique of pure reason and then the critique of practical reason too. And this is what makes for me so important to think about the concept of thing. And this was in philosophy in the 20th century also discussed by Heidegger. He wrote a very famous small book on what is a thing, and it was also commented by Jacques Lacan. Also because for Lacan the concept of thing is crucial. So he speaks about the la chose du désir, so the no thing of what we desire. So what we desire is about a no thing, and la chose is typical Kantian, typical Lacanian with an A, la chose, the thing and the no thing. And this is come out of a discussion with Heidegger about the concept of thing. So it introduces also the question of psychoanalysis and IT technology and philosophy and metaphysics and Kant and so on the discussion of what is a thing in the 21st century. And I think we should think about this more basically, because also with regard to toys, are toys things as they were? As we were discussing by Juliet Lodge and Nagel, they are not anymore just toys. This is what is amazing. And when we think toys for children are just toys. They are not anymore the toys they were before. They are not just anymore just things for children. They are different and very dangerous in some cases, or not. And so I don't know if it gives you some ideas of concerning your question, Denise.
Yes, thank you very much. As usual, you brought a lot of good ideas to us to think about. Thank you.
We should discuss in Marilia. In Marilia, we should discuss again.
Yes, yes, we're in Marilia. Thank you.
My greetings to the friends in Marilia. Please send them.
Yes, we miss you here. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really extremely interesting, and I think that this is how things are reconsidered as digital things. And any other question? And so, I think I think I would like to ask. So in this case, I know that there is also this. The IPT talks in this year and I think next year we're going to focus on different forms of intelligence and cognition. So considering this change that you described, Rafael, do you think that we have a new era also in cognitive understanding, cognitive learning, in the way that things are understood by the common mind? So in a way, technology forms a new way of cognition somehow.
A new way comes as different from human and from animal cognition.
Yes.
In this sense, yes, and different from the traditional technology of engines, which was a technology of the 19th century.
Yes, the engineering idea, yes.
The engine as the main metaphor for the 19th century, also for Freud, for instance, the psyche as an engine, human psyche as an engine, and also considering the animals as engines, which also very important in 18th century and 19th century, law machine and so on, and the automats. This history of automata, which is very interesting. You know, it's very interesting to see how different it is, for instance, the conception of the automata in Japan, in different contexts, cultural contexts in our case, because they make a view of automata related to theater, so theatrical views and from their traditions. And so they are not so much distressed by the view that the automata have a self, This is a very deep question for them, because in the tradition of the Buddhism, the self is negative, so it's something to be destroyed. And this is for us in the Western very difficult to understand. Why is the self something negative? I cannot go now into details, but this is why they look at the issue of robots having a self, also reified self. They look completely in a different way as we do, also from the ethical point of view. They are not so nervous about machines having a self, because self is something negative. They should not have a self. They have the best, they have no self, and then they were Buddhists, of course, in this case. But maybe in other traditions, I think in Latin America, for instance, in Indian traditions, we have different views of relation to things as we do now with IT. But I have no practical experience on that, no practical analysis how it's been understood in communities in Mexico, on traditional communities, I mean, or in Argentina, and Bolivia, and so on. So how they deal with these new kinds of things, and what kind of things, how is their view of things at all in these communities which go back many hundreds of years ago, or also in the Far East, and of course in Africa also, with magic tradition and so on. So I think there is an incredible lot of work to be done.
Yes, of course.
From a cultural point of view, and we should not close ourselves into AI and ethics in the Western perspective. That would be pretty forcing, maybe. We have to our job. Yeah, our job, we should do it anyway, of course. This is from the Western perspective, but it is not. It's only one part of the whole. Yeah.
I mostly agree, and I fully agree with you.